Two desktop notifications are on vertical line. Turn off. Get breaking news alerts from the Washington Post. Turn on desktop notifications. Yes, not now. It looks like you've previously blocked notifications. Please update your browser permissions to allow them. Sections. Sign-in username. Subscribe. Accessibility for screen reader. Homepage. U.S. and World Vertical Line. Regional. Politics. Power Post. Affix. White House Courts and Law. Polling Monkey Cage. Fact Checker. Post. Politics. Blog opinions. The Post's view toes. Cartoons. Tell-news. Animations. Local opinions. Global opinions. Letters to the editor. Fact 4. All opinions are local. Book Party. Compost. Eric Wemble. 5 Myths in Theory. The Plum Line Post. Steve Irving Post. Partisan Rampage. Right Turn. The Watch. Vaughan Conspiracy. The Missing Debate. Sports. Redskins and FL&LD and NHL. All Mid Sports. Soccer. Boxing / MMA. College Sports. College Football. College Basketball. DC Sports. Bog Early Lead. Fancy Stats. Golf. Tennis. Fantasy Sports. Local DC Maryland. Virginia. Public Safety. Education. Obituaries. Transportation. Weather. National Acts of Faith. Health and Science. National Security Investigations. Morning Mix. Post. Nation. True Crime. Obituaries. World Africa, the Americas, Asia and Pacific. Europe, Middle East. National Security. World Views. Checkpoint. Business. One blog on leadership. Personal finance. Digger. Energy and environment. Markets on small business. World Business. Capital. Business. Tech. Innovations. The Switch. Lifestyle. Arts and entertainment. Advice. Carolyn Hacks. Food. Travel. Wellness magazine. Home and garden. Inspired life. Fashion. Kids. Post on parenting. Reliable source. The Intercept. Soloish Entertainment. Books. Comics. Comic refs. Going out guide. Horoscopes. Movies. Museums. Music. Puzzles and games. Theater and dance. TV. Restaurants. Bars and clubs. Crosswords. Video. World Top News. Entertainment. Local popular video. Politics. Live sports. Opinions. National business. Technology. Style. Photography. Insight. Washington Post. Live events. Live chats. Real estate. Rentiles. Where we live. Recently sold homes. Cars. Jobs. Classifieds. Partners. Express Parade. WP Brand Studio. WashingtonPost.com. 1996 to 2016. The Washington Post. Terms of Service. Privacy Policy. Submissions and Discussion Policy. RSS Terms of Service. 80 choices. Share on Facebook. Share on Twitter. Share on Google+. Share via email. Share on LinkedIn. Share on Pinterest. Share on Tumblr. Resize text. Print article. Comments. 4.1k. The inside track on Washington politics. Be the first to know about news stories from Power Post. Sign up to follow, and we'll email you free updates as they're published. You'll receive free email news updates each time a new story is published. You're all set. Sign up. * invalid email address. Got it. Got it. National security. Obama administration is close to announcing measures to punish Russia for election interference. The inside track on Washington politics. Be the first to know about news stories from Power Post. Sign up to follow, and we'll email you free updates as they're published. You'll receive free email news updates each time a new story is published. You're all set. Sign up. * invalid email address. Got it. Got it. President Obama speaks about counterterrorism during his visit to MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa on December 6. Karen Lamarck / Reuters. By Ellen Nakashima. December 27 at 8:24 p.m. Follow at Nakashima. The Obama administration is close to announcing a series of measures to punish Russia for its interference in the 2016 presidential election, including economic sanctions and diplomatic censure, according to U.S. officials. The administration is finalizing the details, which also are expected to include covert action that will probably involve cyber operations, the officials said. An announcement on the public elements of the response could come as early as this week. The sanctions portion of the package culminates weeks of debate in the White House on how to revise a 2015 executive order that was meant to give the president authority to respond to cyber attacks from overseas, but that did not cover efforts to influence the electoral system. The Obama administration rolled the executive order out to great fanfare as a way to punish and deter foreign hackers who harm U.S. economic or national security. The threat to use it last year helped ring a pledge out of China's president that his country would cease hacking U.S. companies' secrets to benefit Chinese firms. Jason Aldog / The Washington Post. Treasury. just as officials pushed for economic sanctions on China over cyber theft. But officials concluded this fall that the order could not, as written, be used to punish the most significant cyber provocation in recent memory against the United States: Russia's hacking of democratic organizations, targeting of state election systems and meddling in the presidential election. With the clock ticking, the White House is working on adapting the authority to punish the Russians, according to the officials, who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss internal deliberations. President Obama pledged this month that there would be a response to Moscow's interference in the U.S. elections. Russia had denied involvement in the hacking. One clear way to use the order against the Russian suspects would be to declare the electoral systems part of the critical infrastructure of the United States. Or the order could be amended to clearly apply to the new threat, interfering in elections. Administration officials would also like to make it difficult for President-elect Donald Trump to roll back any action they take. Part of the goal here is to make sure that we have as much of the record public or communicated to Congress in a form that would be difficult to simply walk back, said one senior administration official. President Obama and Chinese President Xi Jinping at a news conference in Beijing in 2014. A year later, Xi reached an agreement with Obama that his country would stop commercial cyber spying. Fedly/Getty Images. Obama issued the executive order in April 2015, creating the sanctions tool as a way to hold accountable people who harm computer systems related to critical functions such as electricity generation or transportation, or who gain a competitive advantage through the cyber theft of commercial secrets. The order allows the government to freeze the assets in the United States of people overseas who have engaged in cyber acts that have threatened U.S. national security or financial stability. The sanctions would also block commercial transactions with the designated individuals and bar their entry into the country. But just a year later, the Russian military spy agency would hack into the Democratic National Committee and steal a trove of emails that were released a few months later on WikiLeaks, U.S. officials said. Other releases followed, including the hacked emails of Hillary Clinton's campaign chairman, John Podesta. Fundamentally, it was a low-tech, high-impact event, said Zachary Goldman, a sanctions and national security expert at New York University School of Law. And the 2015 executive order was not crafted to target hackers who steal emails and dump them on WikiLeaks or seek to disrupt an election. It was an authority published at a particular time to address a particular set of problems, he said. So officials need to engage in some legal acrobatics to fit the DNC hack into an existing authority, or they need to write a new authority, Goldman said. Administration officials would like Obama to use the power before leaving office to demonstrate its utility. When the president came into office, he didn't have that many tools out there to use as a response to malicious cyber acts, said Ari Schwartz, the former senior director for cybersecurity on the National Security Council. Having the sanctions tool is really a big one. It can make a very strong statement in a way that is less drastic than bombing the country and more impactful than sending out a cable from the State Department. The National Security Council concluded that it would not be able to use the authority against Russian hackers because their malicious activity did not clearly fit under its terms, which require harm to critical infrastructure or the theft of commercial secrets. You would have to be able to say that the actual electoral infrastructure, such as state databases, was critical infrastructure, and b that what the Russians did actually harmed it, said the administration official. Those are too high bars. Although Russian government hackers are believed to have penetrated at least one state voter registration database, they did not tamper with the data, officials said. Some analysts believe that state election systems would fit under government facilities, which is one of the 16 critical infrastructure sectors designated by the Department of Homeland Security. Another option is to use the executive order against other Russian targets, say, hackers who stole commercial secrets, and then, in either a public message or a private one, make clear that the United States considers its electoral systems to be critical infrastructure. The idea is not only to punish but also to deter. As much as I am concerned about what happened to us in the election, I am also concerned about what will happen to us in the future, a second administration official said. I am firmly convinced that the Russians and others will say, that worked pretty well in 2016, so let's keep going. We have elections every 2 years in this country. Even the threat of sanctions can have deterrent value. Officials and experts point to Chinese President Xi Jinping's agreement with Obama last year that his country would stop commercial cyber spying. XI came to the table after news reports that summer that the administration was preparing to sanction Chinese companies. Complicating matters, the Trump transition team has not yet had extensive briefings with the White House on cybersecurity issues, including the potential use of the cyber sanctions order. The slow pace has caused consternation among officials, who fear that the administration's accomplishments in cybersecurity could languish if the next administration fails to understand their value. Trump turning away intelligence briefers since election win. Sanctions are not a silver bullet. Obama noted that we already have enormous numbers of sanctions against the Russians for their activities in Ukraine. So it is questionable, some experts say, whether adding new ones would have a meaningful effect in changing the Kremlin's behavior. But in combination with other measures, they could be effective. Criminal indictments of Russians might become an option, officials said, but the FBI has so far not gathered enough evidence that could be introduced in a criminal case. At one point, federal prosecutors and FBI agents in San Francisco considered indicting 0eee2fdc, the nickname for a person or people believed to be affiliated with the Russian influence operation and whose true identity was unknown. Before the election, the administration used diplomatic channels to warn Russia. Obama spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin at a Group of 20 summit in China in September. About a week before the election, the United States sent a hotline-style message to Moscow using a special channel for crisis communication created in 2013 as part of the State Department's Nuclear Risk Reduction Center. As part of that message, the officials said, the administration asked Russia to stop targeting state voter registration and election systems. It was the first use of that system. The Russians, officials said, appeared to comply. Read more. Here's what you need to know about Russia's election hacking. Obama says we will retaliate against Russia for election hacking. Moscow has the world's attention. For Putin, that's a win. World. National security. Get 2016 Olympics updates by email. Our best news and analysis from Rio, delivered to your inbox. Post_newsletter 333. Magnet Olympics 2016. False. End of article. False. Please provide a valid email address. Sign up. You're all set. See all newsletters. World. National security. Dallas shooting updates. News and analysis on the deadliest day for police since 9/11. Post_newsletter 353. Follow Dallas. False. End of article. False. Please provide a valid email address. Sign up. You're all set. See all newsletters. 4.1k. Comments. Share on Facebook. Share. Share on Twitter. Tweet. Share via email. Ellen Nakashima is a national security reporter for The Washington Post. She focuses on issues relating to intelligence, technology and civil liberties. Follow at Nakashima. 4106. Show comments. Discussion policy. 0 comments. Superfan badge. Superfan badge holders consistently post smart, timely comments about Washington area sports and teams. More about badges. Vertical line. Request a badge. Culture connoisseur badge. Culture connoisseurs consistently offer thought-provoking, timely comments on the arts, lifestyle and entertainment. More about badges. Vertical line. Request a badge. Fact checker badge. Fact checkers contribute questions, information and facts to the fact checker. More about badges. Vertical line. Request a badge. Washingtologist badge. Washingtologists consistently post thought-provoking, timely comments on events, communities, and trends in the Washington area. More about badges. Vertical line. Request a badge. Post writer badge. This commenter is a Washington Post editor, reporter or producer. Post forum badge. Post forum members consistently offer thought-provoking, timely comments on politics, national and international affairs. More about badges. Vertical line. Request a badge. Weather watcher badge. Weather watchers consistently offer thought-provoking, timely comments on climates and forecasts. More about badges. Vertical line. Request a badge. World watcher badge. World watchers consistently offer thought-provoking, timely comments on international affairs. More about badges. Vertical line. Request a badge. Post contributor badge. This commenter is a Washington Post contributor, Post contributors aren't staff, but may write articles or columns. In some cases, contributors are sources or experts quoted in a story. More about badges. Vertical line. Request a badge. Post recommended. Washington Post reporters or editors recommend this comment or reader post. You must be logged in to report a comment. Sign in here. You must be logged in to recommend the comment. Sign in here. Comments our editors find particularly useful or relevant are displayed in top comments, as are comments by users with these badges. Replies to those posts appear here, as well as posts by staff writers. All comments are posted in the All Comments tab. More about badges. Get a badge. To pause and restart automatic updates, click Live or Paused. If paused, you'll be notified of the number of additional comments that have come in. Comments our editors find particularly useful or relevant are displayed in top comments, as are comments by users with these badges. Replies to those posts appear here, as well as posts by staff writers. Spam offensive. Disagree off topic. Among the criteria for featured comments, likes by users, replies by users, previous history of valuable commenting, and selection by moderators. Facebook, Twitter, Reddit. Stumble upon. Delicious. Sign up for email updates from the Confronting the Caliphate series. You have signed up for the Confronting the Caliphate series. Thank you for signing up. You'll receive email when new stories are published in this series. Most read. 1. Obama administration is close to announcing measures to punish Russia for election interference. 2. Israel intensifies battle with U.S. over UN resolution on settlements. 3. A Taiwanese teacher asked his students to vote on a parade theme. They chose Adolf Hitler. 4. Treasury and justice officials pushed for economic sanctions on China over commercial cyber theft. 5. How a $500 million statue is dividing India. Our online games. Play right from this page. Mahjong Dimensions strategy game. Spider solitaire card game. Mahjong candy strategy game. Word wipe word game. World. National security. Success. Check your inbox for details. Please enter a valid email address. You might also like. Sign up. No thanks. See all newsletters. WashingtonPost.com. Copyright 1996 to 2016. The Washington Post. Help and contact us. Terms of service. Privacy policy. Print products. Terms of sale. Digital products. Terms of sale. Submissions and discussion policy. RSS. Terms of service. AD choices. Close video player. Now playing. Read content from Allstate. Content from Allstate. This content is paid for by an advertiser and published by WP Brand Studio. The Washington Post newsroom was not involved in the creation of this content. Learn more about WP Brand Studio. We went to the source. Here's what matters to millennials. The state-by-state look at where Generation Y stands on the big issues.